All I'm saying is it's a damn good thing that season 2 of Hell's Paradise is confirmed, because this episode was some bull. And don't get it twisted, amazing episode, one of the best produced, action-packed, emotionally driven, but between the bait and switch of showing Senta last week, I think we all were like, yeah, very predictable death, because, well, the backstory was there, but honestly, to Hell's Paradise credit, they did bait us with the teacher and student, because it's always the teacher who dies for a student, and instead they let the student die for the teacher, and that was a really shocking death and bait and switch. So seeing someone get the backstory and like, of course they're gonna end up dead, I think we kind of were like, you know what, Hell's Paradise has earned a predictable death. And instead they said, nah, it wasn't predictable actually, because not only do they seemingly save him in order to give some extra advice in order to deal the finishing blow, they then bring up the one of the best debates in Attack on Titan. Was Erwin or Armin? Which one would you pick? And essentially we got the same thing, and don't get it twisted as well, I was siding with Xion the entire time, because not only is he already a master of being blind, he is clearly the more talented fighter, even at a disadvantage. I think it was clear if one had to be saved, it had to be him. But it doesn't change the fact that it was emotional as hell seeing that, like, think of like your loved one, whether it's a cat or someone back home, and he's literally thinking of the same girl who's hugging him as it stands. Like, that was pure pain, man. And to top the episode off, our boy Gabimaru apparently having no damn memories of what's going on. Is his wife even real? I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see where Season 2 is going to take this. Now, full live reaction to this wonderful final episode of Season 1 is available on the Patreon. If you would like to see my full and cut thoughts, this was a very exciting episode. And I think we're about like 5 out of 13 of the novels in terms of the manga volume. So whether Season 2 can fully adapt this or not, I don't know. If they do a Season 3, it would definitely have to be a shorter season, I imagine, than a traditional 13 episode if they do go another 13 for Season 2. Either way, I think it's pretty clear we're getting a full adaptation of this for sure, especially given that it is a shorter manga series. And I think the thing I want to talk about first has to be what is real. So they just casually throw it in people's faces like, hey, what if the elixir and, like, you know, the character stabbing themselves in the head, what if that wasn't even real? What if it was a way to just get loyalty, show, you know, an illusion? And what if his wife isn't even real? This might be pure hopium. That's fine. I'm gonna assume the wife's real. I'm gonna assume that love's real, because despite really not seeing anything at present day, it's always flashbacks or him thinking of her, I want to believe that in this hell-forsaken world, especially given the hell that we're living on with this island, that that wife isn't a fake and an illusion. Because if that's the truth, our boy Gabimaru doesn't have a lot to live for right now, I have to admit. And the idea that he has no idea what's even going on around him, he can't remember her face, but he remembers her touching his hand, and that seemingly was like, you know, a bit of a trigger of who he once was. Do not tell me that's all fake, and if that is some ice cold bullshit. Now, in terms of character stabbing himself in the head, I kind of do believe that could be BS, but at the same time, given the plant life and the crazy immortality-ish things we've been seeing, I also feel like maybe they just had some plants inside him, I don't know. But either way, that's definitely pretty twisted, and have they not confirmed the Season 2? Prior to this episode even dropping for subs anyway, I mean, I would have been salty if this is how they left me off, because there ain't no way you just leave a viewer off with these types of bombshells. But in terms of someone living far past what I was expecting, I mean, he had damn plants coming out of his eyeballs, but I guess it makes sense when you cut it away and his eyes were gone. Like, there's no way, even with some salve, that he was be able to come back to. No, he would have just been blind as well. And I think objectively we all can agree that Senta, while intelligence-wise you can make an argument that he's very valuable, I think combat-wise we have just proven we need all the brute force that we can get, and this dude, despite having no eyesight, makes a lot of sense. But I like how once they bury our boy, pretty much it gets said that, like, no more. We're not prisoners, we're not jailers, we're nothing. We're just the same, and we're trying to escape this bullshit island. And I'm like, you know what? Makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I truly thought this episode was extra refined. I mean, the action animation was top tier. There's some really great still shots of just clean art direction, and seeing how they did that combination effort, I mean, at first, I didn't know what the hell was going on with the hugs. I thought it was just kind of like a cute thing, like, oh, I see people give hugs and it makes them feel better. No, seemingly some energy transfer is going on there. And I imagine there's gonna be a large portion of the internet that are collectively saying, God, I wish that were me, as they got covered in slime and she was licking hands. I mean, the studio knew what they were doing, whether it was making white goo in terms of poison things that are coating her, or the idea that did they really need to go as fan servicey as they did? No, but do we thank them? Yeah. So it was nice. It was a very well action directed fight. I thought it was really cool seeing our boy come in, and he was literally ready to die need be. Of course, he wanted to live, but the idea of, like, you know, he was about to deliver the blow if it wasn't for Senta saying, no, it's actually over here you need to attack, seeing the ruptured face, like, there's like, what, a dozen faces in there, and it was creepy as hell. The idea of waiting 1,000 years to have anyone maybe give you a challenge like this and actually just being like, damn, I'm impressed. I mean, there's probably some disappointment that you're dying, but at the same time, it kind of felt like the sweet relief of death and just being happy you got to see someone who is so okay with dying if it meant killing you. It's just some twistedness overall, and I leave this season very impressed. I've been saying it for a while. I think it's peak New Gen Shonen, man. I love the idea of the cast of characters. It hooks me right in. I love their personalities. Senta as a character was one of my least favorite, but they still managed to make me feel bad when I thought he died last week. You bring him back in, I'm like, well, you know what? We've already proven that if a character's blind, it doesn't mean they're down forever. Look at this badass over here. So when you do it a second time, it hurts even more, and you make me go from saying, wow, that was a really predictable death, to actually that wasn't a predictable death because you seemingly saved him to only give the ultimatum of pick one, and goddamn, that was some pretty ice cold shit. And even though they have maybe a third of the cast left that we started with, I appreciate that they're not just every episode killing someone, right? They seemingly are letting the cast develop, and they really are twisting where you expect deaths to go. I think there's actually a lot of people who really just don't compliment that teacher-student fake out enough, because every anime I see, it's always the student who ends up becoming the master because his master ends up dying to protect or something. And the fact that you did that is such a different style, and in doing so we get to see Shion develop into such an amazing character, and the idea of doing the predictable, here's the sob story backstory, and then of course they're gonna get killed, to then only seemingly save them but not have enough to save both. It's just, I have to admit, they really did do some interesting bait and switches, and I loved what MAPPA did with this 13 episode run, and I mean, I'm excited to see how they're gonna probably fully adapt this one, because it's heat. It absolutely is. It was pure insanity. It was some bull. Absolutely was. But it was some good bullshit. It really was. That's the best way to put it. It makes you a little feisty and spicy because of character deaths, or like, what the hell, are you seriously just removing our boy's memories, saying his wife not even be real? What even is real? Is this island even real? Are we just having a bad dream? Like, it gets your mind racing, but that's what makes discussing and watching an anime like this so fun. Because it's not just a simple sit back, relax, oh yeah, that was a fun action scene. No, it's like, oh my god, 10 out of 10 adrenaline, the hype levels are off the chart, and I can't wait to see where they take it next season. But hey, those are just my feelings. Let me know what you thought of this season, or this episode in particular, down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel, and hey, as I mentioned, full live reaction to this episode, or any of the previous Hell's Paradise episodes, are available on my Patreon if you're interested, and while you're there, you can also get a video shout out. So today, we have Third Dynasty, Daniel Darby, Darian Smith, and Arthoth Zers. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.